All right, so today on Through the Numbers, we're gonna go through week 3 in the NFL. It's me, your boy Rye Guy, Ryan Osborne. I'm here with Ian Windmill.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, so we're gonna go through all the games in week 3. We're gonna give you our best bets, any props that we like, and see where we go. And then I think at the end we might do a little anytime touchdown. What do we call it? Round robin.
Round robin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, the first game we got up is the Patriots visiting the New York Jets. Jets are laying 6 points, favored by 6. The total sitting around 38.5. Ian, who do you got in this one?
I got the Jets winning it all, but I'll tell you my favorite bet for this game is the under. It's under 38.5. It's two teams coming off 3-day rest. The Patriots coming off overtime game, so they're even more tired. Both two very strong defensive teams. So my best bet for this game already is going to be under 38.5. I bet it when it was 39, the half a point difference. I don't mind that. In regards to the spread, initially I was going to come in on the Patriots plus 6.5. You know, they've looked a lot better than expected this year. Divisional dogs are usually a good trend to bet. But then I saw a stat here. Let me pull this up really quick. Where'd it go? So I believe this is since 2021, teams that played an overtime game and then play on 3 days or fewer of rest against a team that didn't play in overtime are 6-18 straight up and 3-21 against the spread. That was enough to make me reconsider and even think about taking the Jets -6.
Wow. So you're kind of making me reconsider because I was kind of thinking about the Patriots, leaning Patriots just because I don't trust the Jets yet. I
They
mean,
haven't really given you any reason to be fair.
yeah, exactly. I have one lock for this game, but I'll give you my likes first. So I like Brees Hall receptions.
Mm-hmm.
Over 4.5, just because I hope
That's it, eh?
but it's plus money. It's plus money. He's gone over an 8 of 10, including both games this season. He's averaging 7 targets through 2 games, and the Patriots are a bottom 10 team for giving up receptions to RB. So that seems kind of nice at plus money for me. So I might sprinkle on that. I haven't bet it yet. Another like is Ramondre Stevenson over 15.5 rushing attempts. He's averaging 23 per game in a rush heavy offense against one of the bottom teams in terms of stopping the run right now. So it's hard not to like that. And I think this game could be closer than 6.5. And I just don't see the Patriots doing much running, which leads me to my lock. Ramondre Stevenson over 66.5 rushing yards. He's gone over this number in both games this season, rushing for 120 versus the Bengals and 81 versus the Seahawks. The Jets have been bad against the run with Ramondre. With like I said, he's averaging 23 rush attempts per game. So it's hard not to like this, and I laddered this play as well. He's averaging 4.7 yards per carry, which would be around 108 yards total at 23 attempts. If he hits his average, that's what you're looking at there. So I don't mind that ladder. I think I did 80 yards and 100 yards. I sprinkled on that as well.
It's a good ladder. I've joined you on that as well. I was also initially in on Ramondre over 65.5 rushing yards. I didn't do the attempts, just the yards, but I do like it as well. I think Ramondre Stevenson honestly could be one of the more underrated running backs in the whole league. And like you said, it's a very rush-heavy offense as well. Like these are divisional teams. These two teams know each other. You've got a young head coach who's trying to prove himself, and you've got Robert Saleh, who is, nobody wants to say it, but kind of, playing for his job right now.
Yeah.
I think it'll be closer than people expect. But again, that trend that I heard about 3-21 for teams coming off of an overtime win, it's enough to put me at bay and just take the under for right now.
Especially given the low expectations that we should or would have had for the Patriots if we didn't know how the first two games went, and they looked okay, I guess. But yeah,
Still can't believe that Bengals game.
that was a tough one. And I'll throw this in as well, just kind of a lean. So Demario Douglas receiving yards over 22 and a half, around there. So he's supposed to be the number one guy receiving. He has missed this in three straight, including obviously the first two of this season, but he did clear this in 79% of games last season, and the coaching staff did say that they need to get him the ball more. So you could see that this week. So if there's a time to get him at such a low number, this might be the time, but I'm just not sure yet if I want to do that, just because I don't trust Jacoby Brissett. Anyways, let's move on to the Bears at the Colts. Colts are favored by a point. Total sitting around 43 and a half. What do you got in this one?
Right now, I'm kind of paused on this game. I do want to take the Bears. I think the public's kind of out on them right now after they've not looked good in their first two games, particularly the second one. I know they still won the first one, but, let's be honest. Caleb Williams hasn't looked great so far. He's a rookie. It's only 2 games in. But I think the Colts have not looked very good either. Particularly, I think their defense has not looked very great. So I think this could be a bit of a bounce back spot for the Bears, who everybody has just completely gone out on. And I think they're going to be motivated to get this win. Caleb Williams, he's going to want to get that first NFL win under his belt. Going 0-3, 0-4, it's, those start to rack up and it gets uncomfortable in there. So I think the Bears, I'm waiting for it to get to +2. I'm hoping I'd like to see more money come in on the Colts, so it'll give me a better number with taking the Bears. So right now I haven't bet anything on this game quite yet. But yeah, that's my play right now, is if it gets up to +2 for the Bears or even better than that, that's probably the side that I'm going to take.
Okay. I kind of agree with you there, because, yeah, the Colts have been bad. But the teams have been beating the Colts with the run. And this leads me to my lock of the game, which is Caleb Williams under 205 and a half passing yards. Williams has yet to surpass this number in his young career, and he'll face another team in the Colts that is top 10 against the pass. All right, so the Colts held CJ Stroud to 204 yards and Malik Willis to 198. So sure, the Colts are 0-2, but teams have been beating them with the run, not the pass. He's not getting pass protection. So if they can hold Stroud to under this number, I find it very easy to believe that they can hold Caleb Williams to below this number, given his struggles in his early career. So that's what I'm locking in until he proves me that he in this offense can pass. That's what I'm going with. I'm locking that one in for sure.
I like it.
Yeah. Another that I got in this game is Michael Pittman Jr. under 19 and a half for his longest reception. So he's been getting a lot of targets. But him and Richardson just aren't connecting for significant yardage. Bears also currently rank 8th in allowing the lowest yards per reception. So keep that in mind. And Pittman's gone under in 4 of 6 games with Richardson as the starting QB.
Yeah, they just don't really seem to have a connection, at least not yet.
Yeah, at least not yet. And Richardson just hasn't been complete. Like, he's sure everyone knows that long pass that he made.
There's flashes.
Yeah, that might be what scares you off from this, which is, I guess, what's kind of scaring me off, is because, sooner or later he's got to connect for one. But, I'm not sure if this is going to be the game. And while the trend is going that he's just not getting these kind of receptions, and the long ball is going more to I think the Pierce is his name. I can't remember.
Alec Pierce, had a huge performance in week 1 for fantasy. Yeah, when I think he was like 99% benched or not rostered at all that week.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I think Josh Downs might be coming back this week, so that could either hurt or help Pittman. So Anyways, that's why I like that one. Do you got anything else for this one?
Nah, nothing else. This game otherwise doesn't excite me too much.
Yeah. Oh, one lean I will have because I will add because we're gonna talk about it a little bit later is Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown. Because
Oh, yeah.
can't believe he didn't score last week. He practically accounted for all of the Colts offensive yardage. But yeah, I just wish it was at better odds because it's kind of juicy.
Yeah, it's after, you would hope you could get plus money on it somewhere. So yeah, maybe we'll wait and see if we can do that.
Yeah, that's more one I would just throw into. I'm not sure I would bet it by itself with what it's at, but I might throw it into the parlay.
Let's do it.
All right. Next game, Broncos at Buccaneers. Bucks are favored by 6.5. The total's at 40 right now on Bet365. Ian, what do you like in this one?
Liking right now. I can't believe I'm going to say it, man. And if this doesn't work out, I'm going to feel pretty stupid next week. I am taking the Broncos. I actually was able to get it at +7 at one book. The reason I'm going with this is, and I can't believe I'm back in Bo Nix here. As I said, to you previously, I am a believer in Bo Nix, and I think he could do well. Watch this video, end up on freezing cold takes one day. But anyway, so
the IG next week.
Yeah. Anyways, so Broncos, I think they should be able to cover a number like 7 against Tampa, who's coming off, 2 very big wins. They just beat Detroit. They were able to get revenge for that playoff loss they had last year. And they're really exceeding expectations, and good for them. Baker, I'm really glad that he's been able to find a second life down in Tampa Bay. But I don't know. I think this jump number is just a little too big, overinflated from, how well the Bucs have done and how poorly the Broncos have done. I know it's been a while since Sean Payton was in the same conference, but, he used to coach against Tampa Bay twice a year when he was the coach of the Saints. I know there's been a lot of turnover since then, but it's hard for me to feel confident about the Bucs going 3-0 to start the year. And I know they are at home, but the way I lean right now, I won't call it a lock, but I am betting it is Broncos +7.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't hate it. I lean the Bucs. I don't have a play on the side. I lean the Bucs over 23.5 points.
I like that.
Just because Broncos gave up 26 to the Seahawks on the road, and I think the Bucs have a better offense than Seattle.
I could easily see a pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown by Tampa in this game.
Yeah, and that as well, which also leads me to something I like, but I haven't seen a line for yet. I want to see what the numbers at. But Bo Nix interception.
Mm-hmm.
If it's decent odds, I might put something on that, and then that's kind of about it for me. I don't really have anything else other than maybe a made field goal play for Chase McLaughlin, but not sure just because he's gone 7 in his last 10. But yeah, not sure if I want to hit that one yet. Other than that, don't really like this game at all.
Not going to watch it, that's for sure.
All right, moving on to the next one. We got Packers at Titans. Titans favored by -2.5. Total is at 38. Ian, what do you like for this one?
This is kind of similar to the last one, man. I can't believe I'm back in this quarterback, and I could feel really stupid next week after this. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans money line. If you can get it at -35 or lower, oh man, he's shaking his head already. I gotta believe the Titans are going to rally back at some point here, man. They're at home. I don't think they're as bad as they looked and performed. I think their defense is better. I think Will Levis is just it really hurt this team, man. If you see the way the coach is talking about him, even on the sideline, saying, "What the F are you doing?" and kind of in a way throwing him under the bus, in the media, basically saying it's like, he effed up when I told him not to F up. So yeah, there's another stat I'm gonna have here too. Where'd it go? F it, I don't need stats right now. At least not for that.
All right. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is Will Levis playing?
Yes. I believe as of now, I believe he is.
Well, then I gotta say, I'm locking in the opposite side of you. I'm going Packers money line. Give me the plus money, because I've seen Will Levis do everything possible to lose. And I just
He really has.
I just don't see it changing. I like Matt LaFleur. I like the Packers with or without Jordan Love. Honestly, I would also lean the under in this game just because I think both offenses might have trouble in it. But yeah, I'm backing the Packers just because they're not going to be able to pass or the Titans are not going to be able to pass on the Packers, I don't think. Not to the extent where they're going to win the game. And if they do, they're going to run the risk of creating turnovers that are going to lose them the game. So that's why I like the Packers there. I lean Tony Pollard over on his rushing yards. He's only over in 5 of his last 10, but he's gone over in both games this season, I think. But he did go under last time he played the Packers, I think. But that one's more of a lean. I mean, there's nothing else really I like. I have a like in this game, but look, I'm looking at my notes right now, and I still don't love it. I don't like this like. So I'm not even gonna say it. Do you like anything else in this game?
No, I guess the only thing I will say is I guess I'm also kind of fading the public in this game. I think because Green Bay won as an underdog last week, the public is going to be in on them again, especially because they are still an underdog. I know what the books like to do with that. So, I will say, like, I've got money on the Titans money line, but I'm not going to tell anybody else, any of our viewers, to go out and bet it or anything like that. That's the side I'm on. You got your side, but I don't know. I think there's better wagers you can put your money on this weekend.
I just can't believe that the Titans are favored. That's where I'm at with it. Is how is this team favored? I don't even care who they're playing, unless it's the fucking Panthers. How are you favored right now? You literally had a game against the Bears and fumbled it or threw it away. Literally.
Rookie in his first game.
Yeah, like
I think probably home field advantage has something to do with it, because I think if they were playing at Lambeau Field this weekend, they would not be a favorite.
I guess that makes sense too.
That's all.
I also think I have a bias because I bet the under on the Chicago Bears win total. And the fucking Titans blew that. I mean, I'm still looking all right because I don't see them getting it together and getting, I think, 9 or 10 wins. But
I believe it's 9.5 is the line.
Yeah, I still don't see that happening. But anyway, stranger things have happened. Speaking of stranger things, let's move on to the next game. And Sam Darnold is 2-0. The Vikings are 2-0.
Pig man.
What the fuck is going on?
Pig man.
They're playing the Texans, and they're
coming off a big Sunday Night Football win.
They're plus 1.5 right now at home.
Oh,
and the total's at 46. Damn. Yeah, that it's the number has moved. Because I believe it was 2.5.
I'm wondering, has there been any injury news that's officially coming out? Because I know there's some questionable guys on both sides. You've got Joe Mixon, who's questionable right now for the Texans, which I think could be a big impact. But then on the other side, you also got Jordan Addison and also Justin Jefferson, who have injury questions going in as well.
I can look it up real quick, but last I heard, Mixon is probable. Because they said he's like okay. Addison is out, and it sounds like Jefferson is going to play, but I'll look it up real quick.
Okay. While you're looking that up, I will say I'm kind of annoyed now. So the side I took on this was the Texans, and I took it when it was minus 2.5. I'm a little cheesed now that it's down to minus 1.5. May have to cash out and bet it again on that. But my reasoning on that was I think the Vikings are overvalued right now. With Sam Darnold. Don't get me wrong, I think they could be good, but I think the Texans are just a much better unit. I think CJ Stroud is a much better proven quarterback who's shown he can win on the road as well. And yeah, that's just, I think the numbers gotten too small. I think Texans are the better team, and that's why I would be on that side against the Vikings, even though the Vikings, I will say, they have looked very good and exceeded expectations, and I'm not sure it is really just beginning of the season good look. Like I won't be surprised if this team is a wild card team in January.
Yeah. No, you're sort of echoing what I'm thinking. Let me just find this because it's not on the official injury report yet, but I can check the status. So Jordan Addison is listed as questionable currently.
Okay.
And so is Justin Jefferson. So they may or may not play. And then Dallas Turner's out? Or is that who I think it is? I'm looking at the wrong fucking thing. Dallas Turner is also questionable.
Okay.
So that hurts their defense because their defense has looked great so far. Let me find Houston just to double check what it says about Mixon.
I really think you guys hit it on your coach there in Minnesota, man. I think Kevin O'Connell is the man, and I think he's just a QB whisperer. It showed whoever you put in there, like he's going to be able to get the most out of them. Whatever their ceiling is, he's able to help them reach it.
Yeah, I like him. I like him as a coach. Okay, so this is interesting. I didn't know this. So Nico Collins is questionable. Was held out on Wednesday's practice with a hip and foot injuries. So he's questionable right now. So that could also be why it's moved a bit. Dalton Schultz is questionable. Joe Mixon is questionable. Wasn't spotted at Wednesday's practice. So, and then Dameon Pierce is also questionable. So that kind of hurts, where you and I are at. Because basically, I'm with you. I'm not ready to buy into the Viking hype. I like the defense, but I'm not sure 2 games means Sam Darnold isn't who we thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can have 2 games in a row, but I don't know if anyone, you can have a 3-game run, maybe, but
we've seen it before too with the Vikings. Like look at last year, Josh Dobbs, the Pasternaut. He had those 2 or 3 games where he was on fire.
Yeah, and then teams adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
It out. I don't know if that's going to happen this week against Houston, but Houston's a better team, in my opinion. And I guess it'll depend on how the injury goes, but 2.5, 1.5. I bet at 2.5. 1.5 is fine with me. I'll take it. I'll also take, I like, and I'm probably going to bet this, Sam Darnold over 0.5 interceptions. He's thrown a pick in 2 straight. And the Texans have 3 picks in 2 games. So I believe they're in the top 10 of forced interceptions. And again, I'm expecting Sam Darnold to come down to earth. And if he doesn't have, his best targets, that might make it more likely that he's going to throw a pick because he won't have the magic of Justin Jefferson, potentially. And then another thing I like in this game, if he plays, is Nico Collins over 5.5 receptions. He's over in 7 of 10 both games this season, and the Vikings are 28th in limiting receptions to wide receivers. So
let's hope he plays then.
Let's hope so,
especially for my fantasy team.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got Chargers at Steelers. Steelers favored -1.5. Totals at 36. Ooh.
And I'm still taking the under.
Yeah, I lean the under as well. Because neither one of these offenses has blown the doors off anyone so far, and both defenses have been pretty good.
Yeah. I mean the
especially
Steelers, that's just their brand, man. Defense has been for decades. As a Bengals fan, believe me, I know. And TJ Watt right now is just as good as it gets, as good as there's ever been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll give you a like for this game before I get to my what I'm locking in. But my like for this game, I don't love it, but I like it. It's Justin Herbert under 197.5 passing yards. He hasn't thrown over 150 yet, and he might be dealing with an injury. And he doesn't have a ton of weapons, and the Steelers defense is no walk in the park. So I could totally see him going under again. I believe the Steelers held Cousins under 200, and I don't know for sure, but who'd they play last?
The Steelers,
Yeah, who'd they play in week?
Broncos. They played Broncos last
I'm
week.
pretty sure they held Bo Nix under as well, 200. So hampered Justin Herbert, lack of weapons. I could see it happening this week, which leads to my lock and why I like this as a pick. I'm not a fan of the Steelers this season. I bet the under on their win total, or I think I bet them to not make the playoffs, but they're looking good so far. And I think they're just better than the Chargers. So I like them with the home field advantage at such a short number.
At the 1.5.
Yeah, especially because I also bet the under on the Chargers team total. So if I'm thinking which one of these teams is more likely to go under their team total, I would say the Chargers just because the Steelers have, they have the consistency with the head coach and obviously the consistency with, winning these games that they need to win.
Yeah, I do.
This is a need to win. Sorry, this is a need to win game because it's a team that they can definitely beat.
Yeah, I do like the Steelers as well in this one. It's not one that I love. Really, a lot of it for me depends on Justin Herbert, and it's his ankle, I believe, how well he does, and if he plays. If he was 100% and I was getting the Chargers at +2, I might be a little more inclined to go that way as well. But I mean, just if you look at the Chargers right now, they beat the Raiders and the Panthers. No disrespect to them, not the two greatest units in the league. And so I think the Chargers right now, everybody's so excited about the Chargers this season with Jim Harbaugh, and he's going to come in there and save everything. And they're 2-0 to start. They're going to the Super Bowl this year. Hold it up just a little bit, man. Like Tomlin and the Steelers are, the proven tough guy, whereas, the Chargers kind of feel like the new tough guy on the block where it's, they're going up against Unk.
Yeah, I think just the Chargers aren't there yet in terms of being on the same level as the Steelers, and I think I don't know what I'm missing in this game, but I think the -1.5 is a bit disrespectful to the Steelers. To be frank,
Really,
like right now they're 2-0. They're 2-0.
Yeah.
They won a game. I'm pretty sure they were underdog. They were dogs against Atlanta, and
they were. Yep.
they pulled that out on the road. Not that Atlanta looked great in that game in the first half of the Eagles game, but Atlanta showed they're not a terrible team. And then their offense sucks though, so I don't know, but just yeah,
Justin Fields, man, no turnovers so far.
Yeah, and that's another thing. He's playing into the system. Obviously, they're not blowing the doors off anyone, but they don't need to. He just needs to manage the game, which is kind of what he's been doing. So. Yeah. Anything else for that one?
No, not too much for this one. I'm probably going to take Steelers on the money line. If Justin Herbert I knew was healthy and I could get a better number, then I'd probably go that way. But I feel Steelers money line is the way to go for this one. And the under. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. The under for this is.
You said that off the top, I think.
Yeah, but let me go on that one. I like that even better than the Steelers money line for this one. If I was going to make just one bet for this game, I would take the under total.
I like it. All right, let's move on to one of the, in my opinion, grosser games of this week. The Giants at the Browns. Browns 6.5-point favorites. Totals at 38.5. Ugh.
This game is the poop emoji.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this game one bit. Lean under. Speaking of low numbers,
oh yes,
under. Like, don't trust either one of these offenses. Mind you, the Giants' defense isn't great, I guess, but they did hold the Commanders to no touchdowns, but then scored touchdowns and lost on field goal.
I guess all I'll say on this one is I'm taking the Giants +6.5. Just have to. This number is too big. I get the Giants have not looked good. Neither have the Browns for that matter, really. I know they've got, some victories, but Giants in their last game, it's like they didn't have their actual kicker on the roster. They didn't bring in the backup kicker off the roster. Just some big mismanagement on that game. If they actually do have the real kicker, there's a chance they beat Washington. last week. So I think 6.5 is it's too big. I'm playing the number in this one. Other than, Malik Neighbors looking great last week, there's really not too much I love about the Giants. And that's it. I think it's too big of a number. It's not a play that I love to take, but I'm going to say it kind of is a lock just because it's too good of a number in a situation. It's a hold your nose and take it. It's not going to be fun and sexy, but make a bet slip for it, and I think you'll be rewarded come Sunday.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet any of the lines in this game. I am waiting to see what the Jones interception line comes out as, and also what his number is going to be to throw a pick six, because I might sprinkle.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what that is, because on the road against the Browns, I could see him throwing a pick six.
Yeah, dental award or something coming through, and grabbing that.
I want to see what Malik Neighbors' receptions totals at. I didn't see it out when I was looking. His yards are there, and his yards are interesting because he has gone over the number in both games this season. But I'll wait to see what the receptions are, because I think I might like the receptions better just because of the amount of targets he's been getting. But yeah, other than that, this game.
Not watching. So as we return, there's actually an update I wanted to make as we were on break. I found out Jordan Love has returned to practice and has been seen throwing, opening the possibility for a week 3 return. So I'm actually changing my stance over the break. I bought out of my Tennessee money line position, and I bought the Packers +2.
Hey, so you're coming to join me in the dark side.
Let's go. This is the dark side bet this week.
Bro, as soon as I saw that Green Bay was a dog, I was like, nope, have to bet this. Not even going to think about it, and I'm glad I didn't, because I think I got them at +3. I think I got them at +3, and I bet them on the money line too. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited to hear that you're joining me here. Okay, so let's pick it back up. Next game, Eagles at Saints. Saints are 2.5 favorites. The total's at 49.5. The Saints have been marching. What do you like?
Win the Saints. Man, so this one has been a bit of a ride for me actually, but I'm loving it. So I initially bet this at Saints +2.5 when the line came out on Sunday. Now, keep in mind, this is before the Eagles had played on Monday night and lost, so that affected the line. So I got the Saints as a dog +2.5, was really happy about that. Then, and I would have been happy staying at that. Now the line has moved again where the Eagles are the underdog, and at certain books you can even get it at +3. So again, I'll give it a pick for this soon. Sorry, I just wanted to tell a bit of a story here, what I'm doing. So then anyways, what I've done today is I went to a certain book that was offering a boost and have taken the Eagles spread and moved it and boosted it so I would still get -115 odds. So now I'll be trying to land a middle between the Saints +2.5 and the Eagles +5.
Okay.
So
hedging your bet there.
You'll see more of these from me. I love a good hedge. I love to play middles when you get a good opportunity to. So yeah, that'll be fun to see. Now, in terms of who I would pick in this game now with where the lines currently are, I would, if you can get it at +3, I would actually take the Eagles in this game. I think it's a bounce back spot. I think we're due to see some regression from the Saints. I know they've looked amazing, but it's got to come back down at some point. I know that's more of a narrative than kind of fact-based or anything, but that's just how I'm feeling with this one is I think the Eagles are pissed off. I think, it's what they're not going to throw anybody under the bus, but man, if Saquon catches that pass on 3rd down,
it's a different story right now.
We're having a different conversation, totally different. Yeah. So I trust the Eagles to get back and get right. If they don't, that's definitely going to change how I look at this team and bet them this year. Yeah. But if you could get a play right now on them, I would take at +3. I would take it. If you were somebody like me who was able to get the Saints at +2.5 or at plus any number really, I strongly suggest you think about playing a middle and seeing what you can get out there. If that's your thing, if you just want to stick with the great value you got, on a team being underdog that's now flipped to a favorite, that's great too. That's always fun to enjoy.
See, I don't agree. I don't disagree with your logic. I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and I expect the Saints to come down to earth. Here's my problem, though. The Eagles were in complete turmoil the second half of the season last year, and they looked terrible. And they didn't look like that in week 1 so much, but they definitely look like that in week 2. So I don't know what I'm going to get with this team. So that's why I'm just leaving the spread, the money line, the total of this game. I'm leaving it alone, but I do have one lock in this game that I really, really like, or love, I should say, and that's Jalen Hurts to throw an interception. I think I'm frozen.
You are frozen right now.
All right, I'll wait till
thumbs up, bro.
I'll wait till it fucking fixes itself. Hold on. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say anyways. Fuck it.
All right, man.
Comes back, I'll just say it again.
It's not the worst freeze frame it could have been stuck on.
It could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. Anyways, I like Jalen Hurts to throw an interception in this game. He's thrown 3 picks in 2 games this season. He's thrown a pick in 7 of his last 10, and the Saints have forced the second most turnovers in terms of interceptions this season. So that would be my lock of this game. Couple likes. I'm just praying that this thing's gonna unfreeze for me, but it's staying. But anyways, we'll keep going with it. A couple likes for this game. I like Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, this has got to be the symbol for what Rye Guy likes to bet. You give him the thumbs up.
Yeah, basically. I like Rashid Shaheed, longest reception, over 22.5. He's hit it in over 3 straight. Eagles give up the second most yards per catch. So that one's pretty interesting. I also really like Devonta Smith, over 71.5 receiving yards. He's over in 7 of his last 10. And in the last 2 games played without A.J. Brown. And if we expect the Saints to lead in this one, that means Eagles will be forced to focus on the pass. So I like that as well. And then just because he scored in each game this season, I would like to maybe take it because it's plus 200 last I checked. And I'll definitely want to put it into our round robin. Rashid Shaheed, over a touchdown. Anytime touchdown. He's hit in 4 of his last 5.
I like it. In.
So that takes us to the next game, which is the Dolphins at the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 4.5. The total's at 41.5. And from my point of view, this game sucks, and I want nothing to do with it.
It's unfortunate, what happened with Tua. Prayers up to him. Mm-hmm. But for this game, I'm actually going to be backing the Dolphins here, and that's good. I'm trying to find the stat here. If you can bear with me for just a moment here,
I'll bear with you
because it was a stat that actually played well for us last week.
I will say this: I don't know who the Dolphins' backup is right now, but the Dolphins do still have a lot of weapons, and they're not a bad team. It's just I don't know what I want to do with this game because not sure I like the Seahawks as favorites, even at home against a decent team, even without their quarterback. The only thing that I'm interested to find out is what the status of Kenneth Walker III is. Because I'd be interested to see what Zach Charbonnet's rush and receiving yards are against the Dolphins.
Yeah, so I've got the stat here. So one of the reasons that I like the Dolphins to cover this week is backup quarterbacks that have gone 38-30-2 against the spread since 2021 when they're making their first start for the team that season. As in, the starter has something has happened where they've had to step out, and now it's this guy's turn to step in. So that in that scenario, they're winning at 55%, or at least they're covering the spread. at 55%. And that actually happened last week for us with Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers. So just to kind of give you some context on that one there. So that's where I'm going with this one. Again, Kenneth Walker is big. If he is out, then this number would definitely probably change and maybe go to a 4 or 3.5.
If he's in, though, you might be able to get the Dolphins at a better number.
You can, yeah. So, and I already did get this. I got it at +6 earlier in the week. I would say maybe just wait on this one to see what's going on. When it's all said and done, though, I would lean the Dolphins to cover the spread.
Let's move on to the next one. We got Ravens at Cowboys. Cowboys are a +1 dog, so essentially a pick 'em. That'll probably be what it lands at the end, unless some sort of injury happens. The total's at 48.5. What are you liking in this one?
I'm liking this game, though, as a fan. I will tell you, I'm excited to see how this one turns out. The Ravens got their backs against the wall here. It's starting 0-2. And I really don't know in this game. I'll be honest, I don't have any kind of insight, or I'm not sharp enough to pick on this one. I don't have any player props. Do you got anything for this one, man? Because I'll be honest, I'm probably just going to enjoy this one as a fan.
You want me to start with the leans or the locks?
Start with the leans, then get us to the locks.
All right. So my lean on this game is Derrick Henry first touchdown. Him anytime touchdown is super juiced. I could see it first touchdown, though. I think he's hit first touchdown. I want to say in both games, but I could be wrong.
Definitely in the first one.
Definitely in week 1.
That really screwed our Xavier Worthy pick.
And in his career, he's had a lot of first touchdowns. So I could see it happening. Then moving on to the likes. CeeDee Lamb over 25.5. Longest reception. Over in 7 of 10 at home. Ravens are last against the pass right now and bottom 10 against receivers. Lamar Jackson is another like. Lamar Jackson longest rush over 15.5. So he's over an 8 straight, and he's looked a lot faster since he cut the weight.
He has.
He's a lot slimmer. And, as you kind of said, Lamar and the Ravens will be desperate in this one because they don't want to start 0-2. Which brings me to my lock. And I've listened to a lot of smart people who I respect, and who a lot of the time I'll tail if I'm not sure what to do. And there's a lot of people that I'm hearing are on the Ravens, and really? I just don't agree. I'm on the Cowboys +1 or money line, probably both. So both of these teams are in line for a bounce back the way I see it. You could argue that the Ravens are more desperate because they don't want to start 0-3, but I have a hard time thinking that Dallas won't be just as motivated to win at home after just being humiliated last week against the Saints.
Humiliated. That was some sad shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cowboys fans.
Yeah, and overall, who's got the better defense? I think Dallas does. And offense, I would say Dallas has the better weapon in receiving. I'm not sure who has the better offense, to be sure, but I
will say this, though. The Ravens offense compared to, I know a lot of this is kind of internet hype and stuff like that on social media, but, all we were hearing off season was, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Oh my God, the run game is going to be unstoppable. 2 games in, and it's like,
sure,
the pass game.
It's been fine.
It's been fine. Yeah, it's not bad, but, just compared to, the headlines we were being sold, it really hasn't lived up to that yet. Exactly.
They haven't lived up to it yet. And I would say the Chiefs were a tough matchup, but this matchup's not much easier. You could argue this matchup might be tougher. So, yeah, give me the Cowboys, bro. Give me the Cowboys.
I'll ride with you.
All right, moving on. Lions at Cardinals. Cardinals dogs +3 at home. Totals at 51.5 last I checked. What do you like in this one?
I am liking Detroit -3 in this one. Arizona has looked awesome so far, especially in the last game. Like, man, they just absolutely shellacked the Rams, who I know do have a lot of injuries right now, but that was just an absolute masterclass for Marvin Harrison Jr. It was that, like welcome to the show kind of performance.
Yeah.
Truly breakout spot. And for the Lions last week, it was, not so great against the Buccaneers. They ended up coming up short. But because of that, I do like the Lions to bounce back in this spot. Like I know Arizona has been a nice kind of surprise. And especially, I think the public will buy into that. They'll see the +3 and like, oh, Arizona's been really good. They beat the Rams. They almost beat the Bills the week before. And, Detroit just lost to the Bucs. But I really do think that the Lions are the much better team in this scenario. And I think they could easily beat the Cardinals by 3 points. Amon-Ra has been fully listed as healthy in this. So, I do like Detroit -3. I think it's a bounce back spot for them. And again, I think they're the better team. No disrespect to the Cardinals, who I think are going to surprise a lot of people this year. I think Kyler Murray, like what kind of happened with him in the whole Call of Duty thing. I really think he's going to kind of like change his mindset and has come back with a bit of a vengeance. So, that's my stance so far. Is Detroit -3.
And I would tend to agree with you. I kind of lean. I think the Lions should win and cover. I just think the Lions have the advantage on both ends of the ball. Something
Aiden Hutchinson last week, man, 5 sacks.
Yeah, and I don't know. We'll see, because Kyler Murray is a little bit more elusive, you could say, than Baker Mayfield. But something I like is Jared Goff under interceptions. I think this is a matchup that should give him an opportunity to clean up what's been going on. I mean, last year he was throwing he was on a streak of throwing no picks for a long time, and he's thrown 3 in 2 games already. So I like the idea of that kind of changing tonight with a more favorable matchup against the Cardinals, who have just been bad against the pass. And I don't think they have any interceptions yet. Unless they got one against Stafford, because I'm pretty sure they didn't turn over Allen. In terms of something I like enough to probably lock in, I don't know if I'll bet it by itself because it's a bit juiced, but I'll probably throw it into our round robin, is David Montgomery anytime touchdown. He scored in 7 of his last 9 road games. Although I will say this, something about this game and the Cardinals' pass defense and how they've been against the pass screams Amon-Ra anytime touchdown to me, which might be at better odds, so I might look to taking that instead.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Let it be known that this is an Amon-Ra St. Brown podcast too.
Yes. If he scores, I will wear a jersey next week.
Nice.
All right, next game, 49ers at Rams. Rams are dogs by 7.5 points. Totals at 44.5. What do you got for this game?
It's hard for me, man. I really want to take the Rams +7.5 on this, a divisional dog. I know it's not really going to be a home field advantage for the Rams because they're playing against San Francisco, and those fans are just going to invade, and it's going to be a sea of red in there. But there's just been so many injuries, and it's really tough for me to get there to back them +7.5, even though they are a divisional dog in this. San Fran has looked, good, not, what they were last year for sure. So yeah, that's where I'm kind of stuck on this one, man. I may just end up not betting it. If I had a gun to my head, I would take the Rams +7.5. But this is one I'm kind of okay with just letting go by this week.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think I'm going to bet this game at all. I'll give you I'll give you a lean and a like. So I lean Brock Purdy over 224 passing yards. Why? Because he's gone over in 10 straight. No McCaffrey, so maybe they won't lean as much on the run. Plus, the Rams are bad against the pass, so I like it from that angle. I don't love it because the last time he played the Rams, he went under. So take that one how you will. And then the one play I do like in this one is George Kittle over 20 and a half longest reception. He's over in both games so far this season. Like I said, no Debo, no McCaffrey. So if they're looking for a big play, that gives a more opportunity for Kittle to make one of those big plays. He doesn't get a ton of receptions usually, but he usually does pull off a big play or two in a game every now and again.
Him and Purdy really have seemed to shown like a special kind of like connection too. You know, like they really can have some special moments together.
Yeah. All right. If that's all for that game, let's move on to the next one, which is the Chiefs at the Falcons. Falcons are dogs by 3.5. The total's at 46.5. Ian, what do you got for this one?
For this one, I'm actually going to take the Falcons, and I don't feel like this is just buying into the Monday hype. Now, I will say I did get them at plus 4.5. It's plus 3.5 now, but I still like it. Basically, yeah, I'm taking the Falcons. I like them here. I don't think Mahomes, when he's a favorite of more than 3 or 2.5, is a spot I'm usually comfortable betting. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons plus 3.5 here. Yeah, I don't know. This is the Sunday night game. This is, again, because sort of at the bottom of the list, I haven't delved as deeply into this one. But yeah, if I had to pick a spot, I would take Falcons plus 3.5. But I don't really have much on this game, to be honest.
Yeah, me either. I will say I like the idea of teasing the Chiefs in this one. Teasing the Chiefs down to get a better, like maybe like a 1.5. And then teasing the total down a bit and going over in a parlay if you can make that into plus money or at least decent odds. I like that. Mainly because or maybe if you're in a survivor pool or if you're in a pick'em pool, I like the Chiefs money line in this one simply because Mahomes is 13-1 when playing in a dome. I don't know what that number is on the spread, unfortunately. Otherwise, that would help my decision there. But just thought I'd throw that out there just so you guys know. One play I really like because last I checked, it is plus money. I don't know if it still is, but Kirk Cousins over 1.5 touchdowns. I see it right now at plus 126 on FanDuel. He's thrown 2 touchdowns in 8 of his last 10. 8 of his last 10. And, the Chiefs have been giving up a lot of passing TDs in the games that they've played so far. So I like that. And then I think there's one other play I liked in this. I haven't bet, but I also like Harrison Butker. Over 7.5 kicking points. I believe he's hit this in both games this season. Yeah, and 7 of his last 10 as well. I would love to know the dome numbers for him, but I would imagine they're pretty good considering it's a lot easier to kick inside a dome.
Doesn't really seem to matter what conditions it is for him, man. Like even the Bengals game on Sunday, it didn't seem like they were really too concerned about like getting as close as possible. Once they knew it was 50 yards or less, they were like, Butker's good.
Yeah, and because he's been sort of a ghost, I lean, but he's gonna have the opportunity with Pacheco out. I lean Travis Kelce over his longest reception too, but I don't know if I'm gonna bet that at all.
What's the number on it?
I believe it was 19.5, which he does go over. 18.5 is what I see it at right now. He went over it in the first game, but he went under in the second because he was a ghost in that game. But he's over in 7 of his last 10. And he was over in 5 straight before last game. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got the Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored by 5 points. And the total's at 45.5. Ian, what do you like in this one?
Give me the Jaguars +5.
That's
And it's just for me, it's just like come the F on. If not now, when? If they don't cover and make this bet, I'm not going to bet the Jaguars again all season. But I don't know what's going on with this team right now. They have not looked good. The Bills have looked very good. And that's just, I got to believe that Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence are going to find a way to figure this out and get it together and be able to cover a spread of something like 5 points, even if they don't win in this, which they're going to be desperate to as well. They're like the Ravens and the Bengals and the Rams right now where, they've started 0-2. But that's my take on it. I did, again, get this at a better number. I got it when it was +6. But I still like it +5 right now. I'm not so sure about, the Bills covering that much of points, even though it's not too much, but that's my pick right now is the Jags.
Yeah, I don't like I don't like the spread on this game. I agree with you. Like, it's now or never, because if you start 0-3, you're fucked. And this team should be good enough to not be 0-3. And I feel like the Bills could have lost that game against the Cardinals. Because Cardinals were playing with them, like they're like offense to offense. It's just I'm not sure if the Jaguars offense. I think the defense can maybe hold them to less points. I'm just not sure the offense. The offense needs to do something, but I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. So I really don't know what to do on this one. I will give you one lock though for sure. I've already bet this. James Cook over 15.5 receiving yards. I've seen this at 19.5 on other books right now. On Bet365 is 15.5. I lock that shit.
Jeez. Let me see if I can lock that in right now.
Yeah, he's over in both games so far this season. The Jags are bottom 3 in giving up receiving yards to running backs. Last time Cook played the Jaguars, he had 25 yards against them. And he's over in 7 of his last 10. I'll pull it up and see what he is at home, just to see what that number. Not as good at home, but also he wasn't. That factors in games where he wasn't getting the same workload as he was getting now. So again, I really like that play. I'm in on that. And then I want to see where it moves, but I also like the idea of his rush plus receiving yards because he has gone over the 86.5 in both games this season. He hasn't been, more of a 60% in his last 10. But it is interesting to me. I'm not sure. That's kind of a lean right now. And then something I'm gonna throw in maybe to our round robin is Travis Etienne anytime touchdown, possibly even first touchdown. I kind of like too, but yeah, I'm not. That's still more of a lean right now, just because I think the Bills have been pretty decent against running backs, if memory's serving correctly. At least on the run. So we'll see. Anything else?
No, that's about it for this one. Yes, I think the Jaguars have really underperformed, and I got to think they can come back and cover and get over this. I think it's been some bad luck, and yeah, I think they're gonna get right this game.
All right, I hope you're right in this one. All right, so for our last and final game of the card, we got the Commanders at the Bengals. Bengals are -7.5 favorites, and the total's at 47. Ian, where are you on this one?
Who day? Give me the Bengals -7.5.
Oh,
I know I'm a biased fan, but no, I like this one here, man. I think the Bengals. This is usually the time of the year where they finally get the gears clicking and things start working properly. In fact, I think they usually actually have a game right around this time every year on a Monday night. And it's usually when they do their Ring of Honor induction, which is actually what is happening on Monday night. Tim Krumrie and Corey Dillon are going into the Bengals Ring of Honor, which is not being talked about too much, actually. But for Bengals fans, it's a cool thing. But anyways, they've always usually done well that night. It's a home game. They're playing the Commanders, who, the Commanders just let Malik Neighbors absolutely torch their secondary last week. And the word is that T. Higgins is going to be returning to the lineup for the Bengals this week, which helps us even more. And just after seeing what Malik Neighbors did to them, I think Jamar Chase and Andre Yoshibas, who's really started to emerge, and even Mike Gesicki and what they were doing with the tight ends last week. I think there's a lot of passing threats right now, which just after what I saw from the secondary from the Commanders last weekend, I think could spell some problems. Also on the lines, the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson had a great week last week against Patrick Mahomes, and Orlando Brown on the O-line is doing very well as well. So in the trenches, the Bengals are doing well. And I just think it's going to be one of those games, man, where, we finally see Joe Burrow come out as Joe Shiesty again. And we're like, what were we ever worried about with this Bengals team? I know I'm biased, obviously. So, take it with a grain of salt if you want to. I totally understand there. But what I would do with this game, if you're not comfortable with playing a big number like that, is I would actually tease this. And I would tease it with two of the California teams playing with big spreads this weekend. I would either tease down the Niners from 7.5 to 1.5 and pair it with the Bengals, or I would either take the Chargers and tease them up from +1.5 or +2 to +7.5, +8. So either one of those two teams, the Niners or the Chargers, pair that with a Bengals teaser, which you would tease down from 7.5 or 8 to -1.5 or -2. I think that's a great play to do this weekend. Again, if you're not comfortable with doing just the Bengals -7.5, but and again, I am an admitted huge Bengals fan, so I always try to be as objective as I can. But I know that's impossible when you're being a fan and talking about your favorite team. But that's my take for this game this week.
Well, I'll give you this at least. I don't think I can take the 7.5. I might go the teaser route, but what I'm liking, I have a same game parlay for this one, which actually I think I'm about to lock in just now. I would bet this by itself, but -140 is a little juicy for me. So maybe if I have a boost, I'll take it. But Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He hit this against the Chiefs. He's hit this in 6 of his last 10. And he's hit this in 4 of his last 6 home games. And if there was ever a matchup, it's against the worst team against the pass in terms of the Commanders have given up the most passing touchdowns so far this season. So I really like that. And what I would parlay this with, if I didn't like the juice at 140, which I think I'm going to do, at least sprinkle a bit on, is I'm also going to bet his interceptions under. So for Burrow, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'm thinking about betting that for a same game parlay on this one. I think it's a terrific matchup for him, home, and that's where I'm at with this one.
Maybe throw in the Bengals money line in there. Not sure how much that would affect it.
Yeah, maybe do that as well. I think that's a pretty good call. Although some people might be afraid to do that just because of what happened with New England.
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I don't blame them. And, I'm always going to wonder that a little bit myself, even though I think in this instance we're going to be okay, which knock wood.
Yeah.
Hooday.
Yeah. So that about does it for the games. We've gone through all of them. Now, if you want to go over, let's quickly anytime touchdown faves for our round robin. What do you like?
I'm going to go. So if I know I'm jumping right to the end of Sunday night game here, but if he's going to be playing on Sunday, which I'm not sure he is, but if so, Kareem Hunt for the Kansas City Chiefs, anytime touchdown scorer.
Wow. Interesting. That's
right back into the lineup, right back with this old team.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. We'll see. It depends if he plays, though. Samaje Perine, and not so much ready to make that call, but if Kareem Hunt is in there, let's go.
Okay. For me, I like Jonathan Taylor. I like, Rashid Shaheed. And if he's playing and if he's back, I like Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown. I think it's a pretty good matchup for him there. I think I had one other, but it's escaping me now. Do you have any more to throw into this?
I mean, if Devon Achane is back and playing for Miami against the Seahawks, I would definitely go with him.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I guess maybe a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh, and I had ETN.
Yes, you did have that one.
Yeah. I think there's another two that I'm forgetting, but yeah, maybe we'll see how this goes. We'll look back on the next show and see how this went. But those are some anytime TDs we like, and we're gonna throw those in a round robin, see what happens. Other than that, that's been it for Through the Numbers this week in week 3 of the NFL. Good luck to everyone. Let's make some money.
Let's make some effing money.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Best of luck to everybody. Enjoy these games. Week 3. You only get so many weeks of football in your life, so enjoy it.